Okay. We are live. Hello and welcome to Talk Chef. I am one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
And
I'm not a host.
Sarah, you could be though. You could be.
You could, yeah.
You might recognize our guest, Chef Sara Hauman from Top Chef Season 18 Portland. Oh my God, we are so excited to have you here, Sara.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here, and I am actually sweating quite profusely. Mostly just because it is hot AF in Portland.
Yeah, if you want to do a quick sweat check, I feel miserable.
It's okay.
I have changed my clothes twice since coming home from work, which was 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and then I got home from work and immediately texted Reka and said I never felt worse about the way that I look because I'm so sweaty all the time. That was about an hour ago. So everyone here's sweaty and emotionally unwell. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I did a live stream at 4:00 and literally was like, it's really hot. Can you see?
There's so much going on because I just changed into this shirt 5 minutes before logging on. It's not going on right now, but it might be going on really soon.
Okay, show it off later. Drop it in the chat later, Reka.
Yeah, everyone drop it in the chat when you see my pit stains, and I'll drop it in the chat when they appear, when I feel them.
Perfect.
Incredible, guys. Well, before we dive into this episode, couple orders of business. First thing, as you guys know, Talk Chef is a food charity-based live stream. So every season we raise money for a different food charity. Last season we did the San Antonio Food Bank in Texas. We raised so much money, and guess freaking what? That final prize is going out this week to Sabrina. So thank you, Sabrina. Thank you to all of our lovely supporters. We're gonna get you that tally so soon. You could taste it. It's gonna be so soon. But let's just say it's a couple $1,000. So thank you so much for doing that. And our second order of business is something we actually didn't tell you, Sara, which is just like every episode of Top Chef has a quick fire. So does every episode of Talk Chef. It is not food related. It is all Sara preference and food likes and dislikes related.
Okay, great. I'm ready.
You seem game, but you should know that it's actually the fastest quick fire in all of Top Chef history. It's 45 seconds. I'd like to say that no quick fire in Top Chef history has been that short.
No.
It's 45 seconds and 10 questions.
Okay.
And just we feel you can do it. And just in case you need that extra push, there's some prizes at stake here. So your first prize could be a deed to the Terlato wine vineyard.
Have you ever heard of it?
I have. It's a fancy, like, permission only. You got to be invited, right? Is that a thing?
What is it?
You're telling us. It's like we understand Terlato wine to be. Terlato wine sponsored like seasons like 7 through what feels like 300 of Top Chef. It is owned by like Danny Tortellini. It sounds like a fake. It's like, to me, it sounds like the Toll Time of Talk Chef, where it's like a fake thing within the show, because I've never seen Terlato at any like wine store. I've never heard it, but then you see on the show, like they'll be at dinner and Padma's like, I'll take a Terlato. And you're like, no, that didn't happen. Boo, no. So we love to poke a little fun at it on this show, and we poke fun at how we cannot find it. So it's very funny that you're saying maybe it's like an exclusive.
So exclusive, we can get our grubby little paw.
Yeah, I think it's just so exclusive, you know.
That is so
only Padma can order it at restaurants, you know.
Yeah, I like it. Literally only Padma Lakshmi. Wait a minute, I have a costume idea.
Can I go in disguise as Padma Lakshmi and Takalakio to a restaurant?
Because I'm short and Jordan's tall, but I'm Indian and Jordan's white. I'll sit on Jordan's shoulder.
One huge Padma.
Okay, wait. If anyone has an illustration of that, send it to us. I think that could be fun.
Yeah, it's like Reka on my shoulders, and there's like a sexy belted trench coat, but maybe my head's peeking out of the middle, and maybe I'm like wearing a ball cap.
Yeah.
I have to pop out and play Tom. I don't know. Just I'm trying to stimulate ideas for the artists that are watching.
Yeah. If you already have a drawing like this, send it to us now. If you have to make it for some reason, like you didn't already have it prepared, send it to us.
Okay, I guess.
Kind of weird, but okay. So Sarah, I'm going to start a timer that is dubiously viewable for 45 seconds once Jordan finishes asking question 1. Are you ready?
Yeah, shoot.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Oh wait, I didn't mention the other prize.
Oh my God, Reka, you idiot.
I'm sick. It's I'm sick in the head. Okay. So you're going to win that Terlato thing, the deed to the vineyard that we've never heard of. And you could win your own suite of broken GE appliances, just like you see on Top Chef. So we're talking about an oven that doesn't get up to temperature, a fryer that doesn't get up to temperature, or a refrigerator whose door doesn't close.
I love that. Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, a lot of times it doesn't work because we literally trash the F out of it. Like, we busted so many pressure cookers. They were like, you guys, there's only 3 more pressure cookers. That's it. It's all you have. Because they're just like, and then you're like throwing stuff around willy-nilly. I definitely exploded something in the microwave. It was crazy.
Crucial information. So maybe part of the prize package could be like a microwave with like crusted over grits or something in it. From the show. Incredible. Well, Sarah, I'm going to start your timer for 45 seconds when Jordan finishes asking question 1.
All right. Question number 1. If you had to get another tattoo right now live on this live stream and it had to be food themed, what would it be?
Octopus.
Would you ever do an all-star season of Top Chef?
Yes.
Who is your Top Chef BFF?
Maria.
What is the best food?
Pickles.
What is the worst food?
Brussel sprouts.
If Top Chef could happen anywhere in the world, where do you think it should happen?
Mexico.
Top Chef London, hot or not?
Super hot.
Who is your favorite Top Chef judge?
Gail.
What is your signature dish?
Fish, tinned fish, of course.
How great are Jordan and Reka?
Amazing.
You did it, I think, maybe faster than any Top Chef contestant we've ever had, maybe.
A lot of the
I'm very competitive, by the way.
A lot of Top Chef contestants don't do well in this quick fire. Incredible. Okay, well, Sarah, all that garbage is on its way to your house. So
God, get ready.
So much. I can't wait to throw it with all of my other garbage.
People are loving in the chat that you said one of your favorite foods is pickles.
Mm-hmm.
We're big pickle heads. I love a pickled vegetable of basically any kind.
Pretty much anything. Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. Like, any style of pickle is delicious. It's just so good. Sauerkraut, basically a pickle.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Do you have a favorite pickle or a pickled veg?
When I was a kid, actually, those like weird, super gross and salty pickles that are like solo in a bag.
From a gas station.
Gas station pickles.
Absolutely.
Beg my mom to buy me those pickles.
I love it.
Always been a salty pickle lady.
I love that. I do have to share something upsetting that happened to me at work today.
Oh, please do.
Sarah, so I work for like a online digital content company that is food themed, and we try products and then like decide what the best things are. I'm a genius, basically, is what I do for a living. But today we tried bread and butter pickles, and I don't love bread and butter pickles. I'm like a sour, tart, garlicky dill kind of guy. But I bit into one of the pickles and it was fully rotten.
It was rotten.
Yes.
I'm not a chef. How old does a pickle need to be to
this
rot?
is to say about it. It was one of the, the brands and the companies that do like a fresher pickled pickle.
Yeah.
It was one of those, and it was I'm not easily grossed out. Reka can attest to this. Like nothing really bothers me. Like hair in my food, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. A person
Okay,
cooked
Sarah,
it.
remind me to show you a picture later of a banana.
Okay, there's one picture of a banana that I hate that Reka loves, but other than that, I'm not easily grossed out. And this really like messed up my day. Like I had to leave the room and like drink a Dr. Pepper and like take a minute to decompress because the idea of thinking I was biting into a delicious fresh pickle and biting into something that was fully rotten messed with my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly when you're not expecting it. And you probably went in like full force.
Absolutely. Because I'm like,
pickle.
Yeah. Like there are some things where I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take a smaller bite of this, see if I like it. Or like we did soy sauce recently. I'm like, oh, I know this is going to be really salty. So I'm just going to have a little taste. This is a pickle. So I'm like, I'm going to town on this pickle.
I mean,
and
that's terrible.
Yeah.
I now I understand the sweat conversation we had earlier. Like I'd be sweating.
Well, I didn't eat a pickle and I'm sweating. So I didn't bite into a rotting pickle.
I just had to tell everyone, I'm sorry. I don't want to bring the energy down right at the top of the show, but it like just happened like 2 hours ago. It was really scary.
Ooh, traumatizing. Quite
really traumatizing. I'm scared. I'm going to eat things really carefully now.
Yes.
I would, yeah.
No,
it's ruined your entire eating experience.
No, if Jordan bit into a hamster by accident, it wouldn't ruin their experience.
That is true.
If it was in their fucking spaghetti, it would just like, that's weird.
Listen, stuff has stuff in it, and I get that. That's how I would describe it. But a pickle should not be rotten. A pickle, it would be different if it was like a piece of fresh fruit or something. I'd be like, oh yeah, this happens. A pickle,
the pickle is that you're preserving it.
Yeah. So what happened to those pickles, and will I have to go to the hospital tomorrow? That's what I want.
I want to know, when did it rot? Was it rotted when it was pickled? That's what makes me sick.
It had to. It had
because it preserves. This sucks. I hate this. Everyone, pop in the chat if you like or hate that. Okay.
I mean, and also how ironic that I said pickles. You know, I just brought it right back up.
Yeah, really re-traumatizing me again. So I have
synergy, the lack of synergy. I don't know which it is. Speaking of lack of synergy, we're gonna breeze through the description of Top Chef season 6, episode 11, because it was just a weird all-star reunion that was like weird, where Fabio hosts a dinner. I mean, he's paid a bunch of money to host a dinner. All of our friends from previous seasons of Top Chef are there. We get Tiffany Faison. We get Harold. # Team Harold. Remember, we all love Harold Dieterle from season 1. We get Alana Hall. We get Marcel. We get Hung. We get Casey. We get Dale from season 3. We get Richard and Lisa.
I love Dale.
Oh my God, what a sweetheart. From Top Chef Miami. We have Richard and Lisa from season 4. We have Stefan and Carla from season 5. And then Fabio, of course, is hosting. So whatever, Fabio is kind of there to stir shit. And Sarah and I were talking before we went live. We here at Talk Chef are food forward. We're food first. We don't care about drama. I don't want you to bring up something you know is going to make someone sad. I don't want to see people bullying Bev in season 9. I don't want to see
sad.
So sad. I don't want to see weird energy. I don't want to see shaving heads. I don't want any of that. I want everyone to be like, wow, I love tomatoes. You want to talk about tomatoes? That's what I want. So some of this is like, ugh. I appreciated some of the tidbits we get. We get that like Tiffany Faison is like, I think I was given not the greatest edit, but she like watched it and was like, I really learned a lot about myself and it was helpful.
That's nice.
We get a little bit of peace made between Ilan and Marcel over the head shaving incident, which is psychotic. You get a little bit of peace between Carla and Casey, or clarification rather, where Carla used Casey as a sous chef for her finale meal in season 5. And Casey suggested a sous vide technique, which Carla had not tried. Carla decided to try it. It didn't go well.
A nightmare.
And people online were like saying Casey ruined Carla's chances. Carla's like, no, I agreed to do it. If it had worked, I would have gotten credit for that too, which I thought was very, like, I mean, Carla's classy as hell. We love Carla.
Yep.
And then we get Stefan saying his dumb bullshit. We get it all. at all of it. It's beautiful. Okay, so then they are challenged. The knife block comes out. Fabio brings it out. And they pull knives to see which seasons cook one course of a 5-course meal. It's a little silly because there are no stakes. It's not judged. It doesn't totally matter, but I like food, so I watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to breeze through the dishes they made because, Sarah, we know people are just going to want this episode to be full of nerdy chef questions, food questions, and Sarah questions. And we like to give people what they want.
Love it.
So Dale, season 3 was on the first course, and Dale made a crab pierogi with mushroom and asparagus ragu. Now, Sarah, we usually just do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down if we think that sounds good. The criteria couldn't be looser. Does it sound tasty to you? Would you eat it just, not knowing it was a Top Chef dish? Do you think it sounds like a Top Chef dish? Would you not eat it because it doesn't sound like one? Whatever you want.
Okay.
I think it sounds good. I think it sounds good.
I think it sounds good. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. Even though I really like everything involved, the phrasing of asparagus ragu doesn't sit right with me for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I'd have to be convinced a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs down.
You got to watch someone else order it and then go, okay.
Okay, fine. It's safe.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It definitely seems like a gut bomb for
Right.
sure.
For sure.
Sure.
And it's
Lots
just a course. And they have 3 appetizers in this first course. Hung then makes sardines with black pepper, pork broth, and scallions. That sounds really good.
Sounds delicious.
And you like a tinned fish.
Yes.
Wait, what's your favorite kind of tin fish? Do you have a brand you're loyal to?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I just launched my own brand, so I gotta
You're loyal to yours. Okay. All right. We will be posting that on our Instagram story. So everyone buy Sarah's tin fish.
Okay. Casey also for the first course made Fanny Bay oysters puree, puffed rice, watermelon, and red onion.
That sounds oyster puree sounds disgusting to me.
So I should confess, Sarah, I'm a vegetarian and I've never eaten an oyster or anything. The only thing from the sea I've eaten is shrimp. And that was over 20 years ago. I've never had an oyster, don't know what it tastes like. An oyster puree sounds fucking disgusting.
It sounds,
I don't know why you'd ever want.
why would you puree an oyster?
Makes sense. Yeah.
And the stuff that paired with it, and like puffed rice, I was like, so that's getting soggy. Watermelon, I'm like, that's really wet. And then red onions, I'm like, don't put my daughter in there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
Honestly, I'm looking at Sarah's tin fish right now. It looks so good. I'm losing my
Hey, Jordan, can you freaking pop it in the chat?
I was going to, but Amy already popped it in the chat. Tiny fish. Amy already is a fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I said I wanted SpongeBob meets anime, and I'm pretty sure my design nailed it.
That is so cute.
I mean, the design is wonderful, and they have like really interesting stuff, like octopus with lemon and dill, and smoked gooey duck with black pepper.
Now, Sarah, I don't want to tell you what your new product should be, but I love the packaging. Do you sell? Oh, you have merch. What the fuck? I was gonna say I would buy like a little
pitch merch, Reka.
Well, what I was actually gonna pitch is, can I just have some vegetables?
You know what's funny is I potentially am working on a new project that is tinned some sort of vegetable.
Yes! Okay.
Secret.
You heard it sort of here first, guys.
You heard it alluded to here.
Yeah, there might be a secret vegetable in my fucking stomach soon. Hell yeah. Also, this merch is very cute. Wait a minute. These are like the shorts that I just bought off of Jordan's recommendation, but these have cute fish on it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this all in mind. Everyone hop on. I'm going to link this. Okay, great. So, second course, Tiffany and our King Harold. They make a seared scallop with a scallop sashimi noodles and a tom yum broth.
That sounds
Tom
good.
yum is where it got me.
Yeah.
I love
I
Italian.
love scallops, so
Yeah, me too.
delicious.
Third course, Marcel and Elan made a salt encrusted Thai snapper with ratatouille.
It's a thumbs down. This doesn't really make sense to me.
It's I don't know. And if Marcel's doing it, there's some sort of weird, like gastronomical, I don't know what he does.
Now, Sarah, you can probably weigh in better, but they were saying we like the idea of doing a salt encrusted thing, which is so funny because you can just see kind of cooking fads where that was really like, they were like, wow. Like Hung was like, I was really impressed they knew how to do that technique, which like, Hung, chill out. And I'm like, oh, I've heard of that. And I'm no one. Just times have changed. But Marcel was saying they served it like that because they were like, well, it seems like they have to kind of bring out all the dishes at the same time, regardless of where they are in the meal. And he wanted it to stay hot. And so like they got to cut it open. Is that?
I'm going to be honest with you. You're told on the show, you're not judged on the temperature of the food. However, obviously, if you make something with butter and it's sitting there getting cold and congealing, it's not going to taste very good when it gets to the mouth.
Yeah, that is always such a, like, what a nice concept. Like, I won't be judged for the temperature, but there are certain things that only taste good at a certain temperature or only hold up at a certain temperature. And I guess then my challenge is, well, then don't make that thing. I'm like, isn't that most things?
Just make it. Exactly.
Like a sauce.
The whole idea is make something that's going to taste good.
Yes.
Temperature.
Yeah. Poof. I remember like the temperature thing was always something so interesting on Top Chef. It's something I had never known until I saw it when the season aired. There's a season where somebody for like maybe Restaurant Wars or something, the plates they were using were on top of like an oven that was really hot.
Yes.
And when they plated a sauce, it like dropped, it like spider out. And they were like, fuck. And I like had like there's so many little like temperature and timing things I never think about because I'm a comedy writer. And so, I have a question for the fish, for my hashtag fish heads. I like ratatouille. I have not a clue what that would taste like with fish. What do we think?
I think it would taste fine with fish. I don't know. It's just kind of like I feel like it's a throwaway dish.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah, I think that like Reka, you know, I'm a fish head, and I just think that it's so like, I don't know, just like why like snapper with ratatouille. Like I feel like ratatouille is kind of not heavy like a cheesecake or anything, but it has its own heft going on, and like snapper is very kind of light. I don't know. I just don't understand.
If you're gonna have snapper, I would personally like, you know, put the slits in it and then like fry it and, you know, put a really exciting, spicy, I don't know, like salted black bean Chinese style sauce on it. You know, something a little more interesting than ratatouille.
It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm also like, what?
Is that the same year the movie came out? Maybe.
Maybe. They're like, we've got to do a dish based on the rat.
Absolutely. The kids will love it.
I want to clear up a discussion in the chat about what episode we are talking about this week, because this is a weird reunion episode that was wedged into the middle of season 6. So on my thing, it came up as season 6, episode 11. But it is possible that it is like an additional thing, and just because of when it was released, it comes in between season 6, episode 10, and whatever the next one is. So sorry for the confusion, and you're gonna listen to us keep talking about this.
Yeah, we're just talk about fish and rotten pickles. It's totally
exactly. Okay, fourth course, Lisa and Richard made corn-fed beef because cows eat corn, is what it sort of sounded like Richard was saying.
Okay.
Sure. And duck pate with a savory root beer caramel, and a thing that was not listed in the lower third, but I remember, Captain Crunch foam.
That's a no.
Huge.
What's crazy is I'm like, root beer caramel sounds awesome. Like beef, great. The like foam on it looks gross. And I don't get it. But like,
and then pate's in there. I'm like, get that Willy Wonka shit out of here. I don't want to hear that.
If you're going to serve beef. Why are you serving duck? I want my duck pate on crackers or bread with cheese.
Yeah.
What?
I think it's one of those things where it's like, oh, we'll put a bunch of interesting, quote unquote, things on the dish, and like it will be mesmerizing in a way where it's like, no, it's actually, it still just translates as weird.
Yes. Yes. So that's what we get from them. And then our dessert is Stefan and Carla, sort of polar opposites of the personality spectrum.
Absolutely.
And we get a raspberry panna cotta, and that's in like a little cup. And on top of the cup is like a chocolate mousse sandwiched between like an almond crisp. Now, I think the latter part sounds good. I think this is two desserts just stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
I don't like panna cotta too much. So I like what I think actually is Carla's contribution to this, the like top part.
Yeah, I think as a whole, the dish is probably a thumbs down for me.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I think it also once again feels like very uninspired.
Yes.
Yeah,
just like,
it's just kind of, again, it's like raspberry chocolate.
a common refrain we have on Talk Shop is that in the early seasons, sometimes when it's like, unless it's a challenge that's like make fast food upscale or something, the stuff that comes out is like hotel looking food. Not to dunk on hotel food, but it'll be just kind of like salmon and asparagus. You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Don't they serve this on a first class in an airplane or something? Like, they're just like, what's your point of view? What's your like your deal? And I'm sure they prioritize that a little bit more in the casting later on.
Absolutely. I mean, I do think it is really to look at how food has changed so drastically in 2 decades is pretty interesting for sure.
And thank God we breezed through that entire episode. There's weird drama and boring, fake drama that I'm not interested in. So now let's get into questions. Sarah, we have approximately 450 questions for you.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Great. Let's go. I mean, I answered 10 in 45 seconds.
That's true. We can get questions.
So coming off of chatting about the dessert, what is your favorite dessert if you have a sweet tooth?
I do have a sweet tooth. As I get into my later 30s, I definitely have a sweet tooth. I'm just a big ice cream person. I love ice cream. I like a good chocolate ice cream now and again, but I'm more of a vanilla lady or like lemon sorbet. I gotta say, I've been getting down on some popsicles lately. Damn.
I think that's beautiful.
Anything frozen is really delicious. I think like strawberries and cream is probably my favorite little combo.
Okay.
Wow. It does feel like Sarah is like if Reka and I had a baby, because my whole life revolves around fish, and Reka loves like a fruity, non-chocolatey dessert. Yeah. So that makes me feel like you're our baby, Sarah. How did that feel? Okay.
How does that make you feel?
I feel great about that. I feel great about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. Wait.
Great.
We love you. Okay. Okay, here is another question. So Sasha Grumman was on our show, and we love to ask about like fun behind the scenes facts, and we will ask you that as well. But we asked Sasha very casually, she dropped, Tom Colicchio doesn't wear socks.
No one had ever told us this. We've had like 8 million.
Nobody.
Chef testants. No one had ever told us that. And Sasha told us that like it wasn't the most insane thing we had ever heard in our lives.
Now, is this something you noticed? Is this something that makes you sick? It makes you feel good? Yeah, tell us the temperature.
Weird. If wearing no socks brings Tom joy in his life, then I'm all for it. And I gotta be honest, I wasn't looking at his feet.
You passed the test. You're not a pervert. Okay, good.
No, yeah, Sasha's a pervert like me. I'm also checking out the feet. I'm sorry. I want to know. I want to know.
I mean, now I'm obsessed with looking at Tom's feet. If they fucking would show it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now I'm going to only look at his feet.
Go back. Yeah. We're desperate to know.
Yes, incredible. Okay, beautiful. So do you have any like fun behind the scenes facts? Like we always love the temperature stuff, the little like weird stipulations of the challenges, but like truly anything We're all hungry for it.
Gosh, I don't know. I was so focused on, I was just trying not to have a fucking heart attack every day of my life there. So literally no one, I was just like, it's fine. This is fine. Behind the scenes, I mean, I can tell you that I don't think Padma liked me very much because I have a lot of nervous energy. So I was constantly like moving and shaking it out, because when you're standing there at judges table, doesn't matter if you're in the bottom or the top, you're fucking standing there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like it is.
That's like a Bachelor. Oh my God.
Well, and then you're like, you get to the TV part and you're like, it's 2 minutes. I was standing there for 4 hours and I'm tired and exhausted. And like, even if you're in the top, you're like listening to other people just like getting reamed about, you know, and you're like, okay, I had like 2 hours to make something happen. You know?
That is I famously do not like to stand, and
yes, absolutely.
I really don't like it. I like went to my first concert in over 10 years with Jordan a couple of weeks ago, and part of why I decided to go was, I think it was you, Jordan, told me that you could sit at the venue, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could sit at concerts. Everyone's standing all the time.
Rachel was so excited, and then she came to the concert and then just sat for most of it, and she kept being like, I love this.
I literally love sitting.
I love this.
I love sitting. God.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, so Padma told me, she said, I have to take Dramamine every time I come and I'm like, you're here because you make me motion sick.
Maybe well, that would mean she has to take the Dramamine. As someone who gets motion sick all the time, that's incredible. Well, if we ever get her on here, we'll set it straight.
We'll say, hey, don't say that to our friend Sarah.
That's our daughter.
That's our daughter. Don't say that.
Yes. Okay, wait. Speaking of my daughter, people pop in questions for Chef Sarah in the chat while I pull up a picture of my daughter, which is this photo that Jordan doesn't like. I don't have a daughter.
Real daughter.
Sorry to be misleading. So Sarah, this is a banana.
Oh, this is the gross banana. Love it. I mean, I think I am quite possibly the weirdest individual that anyone has ever met. I love gross things. I like being gross. I like talking about like farts and burps.
She is our daughter.
You are, yeah.
So with every word you say, you become more connected to us. That's beautiful. Okay, fine. She likes the banana.
Okay,
I would eat the banana. I love when the bananas get all brown and gross on the outside. It tastes more like a banana. It's like the pure essence of banana.
Clip out this part of the show and put it online, just so that I can show people that a chef, my banana is beautiful.
I mean, I did just eat a live shrimp on TikTok.
Ooh.
It was mini viral.
Did you feel it? What happened?
Well, it was flopping around and I twisted the head off and then I sucked the head and then I ate it. It was controversial. What's that?
Was it seasoned?
No, it's just a raw shrimp. They're really delicious spot prawns that you get out of the Puget.
They're like fancy spot prawns.
Yes, absolutely. I also made another video where I cleaned and very matter-of-factly talked about a gooey duck. So there was
I love that.
The internet loves that for sure.
I'm sure.
That's incredible. Okay, beautiful. Let's see. Other questions we've got. Okay, what was your favorite challenge on the show?
My favorite challenge. I think my favorite challenge was probably the first responder, challenge.
Yes. You made the packaged microwave lunch or meals for them?
Yeah, it was so challenging. Let me tell you, because I think what a lot of people don't understand, you hear the like, okay, you have 4 hours, but it's split up in 2 days. But part of those 2 hours and 2 hours on those 2 separate days is taking all your shit out of the fridge and then packing it up to go back in the fridge. That takes a good, 10, 15 minutes. So it's not a complete 4 hours. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to make like pita. That sounds like a great idea. I'm just going to hand roll a bunch of pita. Stupid idiot.
No. Don't talk about our daughter that way.
It went great. Everyone loved it. I have such a distinct memory of that challenge because I watched it with my mom, and my mom's an essential worker. She's a COVID nurse. And I remember my mom being like, if this season was in LA, I would have been one of these people getting this meal. And she said it kind of like, I was like, yeah, okay. She said it kind of like it was like
they deliberately chose to not do it in LA so she couldn't go on.
Yeah, I feel slighted.
Yeah, it almost felt like she was like pretty cool, huh? If they were here, that would have been me. And it really made me laugh. And I thought it was funny. But my mom and I love that episode.
I thought it was very cute. I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from Christine. And I might know the answer to this based on our pre-Zoom combo. Did you watch Top Chef before being on it?
So I did watch a little bit. I watched the first couple of seasons, of course, when I was a kid or a teenager. Let's not get that twisted.
When
I was born, it was season
12 was premiering kind of at my birth.
And then I did a little bit of studying before I went on the show, but what ended up happening is I would just watch these episodes and get like so nervous and really frustrated and really like, oh God, what am I doing? So I had to stop. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just got to go in blind. If I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it.
I feel that so hard when I like interview for a show to like write or something. It's like really hard for me to watch it when it comes out if I didn't get the job. It's just so much like I'm in my head for the next thing I'm going to do if I'm watching this stuff that like maybe I didn't get or whatever. Is similar energy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch, I don't listen. I don't do any of the things that I probably should do. Like,
that's so healthy.
Rewatching this, FYI. You know, I don't listen to my podcasts. I just let them hang out there, you know? I pay people to tell me if I fucked up.
I love that.
Really healthy. I think that's so good and incredible because then you start noticing. Somebody pointed out the other day that when I talk, most of the time you can only see my bottom teeth, and I had never noticed that, and it scared me because I was like, wow, what an interesting thing about myself I've never noticed, and it made me feel afraid. And now I'm like, and that's why you don't read comments, because it wasn't even upsetting and I don't think they were being rude, but it just made me be like, wow, this thing about myself I've never noticed. It's too much. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know. I realized I do this weird little eye roll sometimes. And of course I giggle, which I didn't know was a thing. Absolutely. Now I'm very self-conscious.
Absolutely. Okay, Amy wants to know, is there any kind of sea creature that you've never eaten and that you really want to try?
Sea creature that I really want. I would try blowfish. That's supposed to be like supposed to get poisoned.
Yeah, it's like a delicacy.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely try that.
How is that like prepared? I'm sure there's a million answers to that, but I guess how would you want it prepared?
I mean, quite honestly, I have no idea. I would just be like, please just don't kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, prepared sans poison.
I will eat it. Just do not kill me.
Yeah. I want to know, you said that you think the worst food is Brussels sprouts. Is that true or is that a panic answer?
Was that a panic answer or was it true?
I don't really like Brussels sprouts.
That's interesting because I feel like we've seen a real revolution for Brussels sprouts. Yeah, like as kids, people are supposed to hate them. And then as adults, we go, wait, my guardian was just microwaving it in a bag and dropping them on the floor and then no salt. And that's what I was eating. Now I know how to like roast them or whatever. And I like them, but you still don't like them.
I don't really like them. I mean, I think a lot of times you get them fried at restaurants. It's fine. It just tastes like fried. It could taste like, it doesn't have to be Brussels sprout, just say it's fried to me.
Yes.
There's something a little bitter about Brussels sprouts at times to me.
Sure.
I'd rather just eat a cabbage.
Okay, let's go. we're in my wheelhouse. Let's talk vegetables. What's your favorite vegetable?
Ooh, favorite vegetable. Man, I think there are way too many because it's like when you're in the sweet potato realm, you got the creamy, and the squashes and stuff. So delicious. And then of course, well, it's not really a vegetable, but tomatoes and avocado, delicious.
They're vegetables. This is what I'll say. I don't want to be too controversial.
No,
I know that like every vegetable that everyone thinks is a vegetable is actually a fruit. I don't care, right? Like we've culturally as a planet decided that they are vegetables. They're vegetables. Everyone needs to stop being so persnickety about that.
I agree. And here's why. If you're an alien from outer space and you only understand things literally, okay, sure, those are fruits. But like guacamole is not like a jam or like a jelly to me.
Yes, that's not a fruit salad.
Like, yes. And I'm not saying you couldn't have something sweet with it. Like pomegranate often tastes good on it, whatever. But I think we're talking like savories when we're talking about this stuff. And like, yeah, like a tomato has sweetness to it, but I'm not.
You don't eat sweet tomato.
Yeah.
You eat fruit tomato.
Yes.
Love cabbage.
Yes.
I mean, a nice stewed onion. Delicious.
We're onion heads here.
Yeah, well, big time.
Yeah.
Big fan of bok choy. Big fan of chard. I love Swiss chard when it's just like really like garlic.
Yes.
Oil.
You like a lot of like cruciferous stuff, like brassica, cruciferous. Okay, cool.
Chicories, like radicchio, all that good stuff. I like that sort of bitter. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, fuck Brussel sprouts though. I don't know.
Do you have like a favorite meal you've ever had or a meal you've ever made?
Meal I've ever had. Well, this is gonna sound pretty terrible to a lot of people who probably love animals, but when I was working in Spain, I had to ride the bus to work, and I was riding the bus one morning. We made a little stop at a church on the top of the hill, and I saw a farmer, and he was carrying what looked like a rabbit, but he had goats following him. And I was like, oh, this is sweet. Look at this sweet moment. And then I got to work, and it was around like the Easter holiday. And what we were having as special, the restaurant I worked at, was baby goat. And it was like pretty much a cazuela, no joke, that big. And the goat fit in it. And it was braised really slowly in the charcoal oven with white wine. And I thought, okay, well, I'll try it. And I tried it. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. And then the pastry chef got all the like brains and offal and all the good stuff on the inside and just sauteed it up with garlic and onions. And we sat there just like shoving it in our mouths with bread. And it was so fucking good. It was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten.
Okay.
I think that's great. I think if you're going to kill something, to make sure you're like using all of it.
Everything.
I'm a vegetarian and I agree with that. I think it's a little the like kind of discourse around like what animals are okay to eat and what is not is a little like odd to me sometimes.
Sure.
Of just like, oh, bugs are too gross to eat. I'm like, I don't eat any of it now, but I'm like, it's all the same.
All living creatures.
Okay, gorgeous. We're getting some hot ass facts here in the chat that we have a BA in biology in the chat who says vegetable is a culinary word, fruit is a scientific word.
Oh,
okay. When we're talking about food and eating, tomato is vegetable. If I'm doing my usual science presentation,
Rachel always does science presentations. They're actually so annoying.
Tomato is fruit. So this is actually crucial. And we're also learning that there was a court case that legally classified tomatoes as a vegetable in the United States.
Interesting. A whole court case.
Case. That's the kind of shit.
To take that to court? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, that's the drama I fucking want. I want a tomato to take the fucking stand.
This is the future that liberals want.
Yeah.
Take a tomato to court. Oh, you can. Oh, I can marry a woman. What
Yeah.
do I do? Take a tomato to court.
Can I fuck a tomato?
Yeah. Damn.
So stupid. Someone's gonna clip just that part out of this episode. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Incredible. And Jason is also mentioning there are British tax laws about what is classified as cake and what is classified as a cookie. This is all so interesting. Okay.
That's so interesting.
This is very interesting. I had no idea the law had so much.
Yeah.
I'm
We're really skimping out on laws that kind of have a little more relevance. And then really.
Well, now I know going back when people say, well, what would you do, if you could go back to school? I'm like, well, of course I would be a fruit lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, take on kind of the nastiest, dankest, like a criminal defense attorney. Like,
yeah. I got to get people like Beto O'Rourke on the horn and be like, okay, well, what's your stance on fruit v vegetable?
Switch. Yeah. Get Bernie and be like, yo, have you
got to take that rotten pickle to court?
Literally, I'm suing that pickle for everything it's
defamation of your mouth.
Defamation of my mouth. Yeah, how dare they?
I had a personal question. It is not personal. I realized, as I said, it is a personal meaning.
Question. Why am I so sad?
Yeah. What's wrong with me? In your estimation, somebody dropped in the chat that you made matcha jam. Now,
on my Instagram.
Okay, I have to confess something, which is, I think matcha is the best thing in the entire world. Mm-hmm. So what is it?
So it's milk jam. So honestly, it's just, I don't know why people call it jam. It's literally just reduced milk and it's basically sweetened condensed milk.
I love that.
But I was having this thing. So I did this little event and I was like, yeah, I need so many avocados. It's the best vegetable. And I grabbed a case of avocados and I used 10. So I was like, well, I guess my Instagram videos are going to be avocado based for the next couple of weeks. So I chucked them in the freezer and was like, what the fuck can I make with all these avocados? And for some reason, I just thought the avocado and matcha would go really, really good together. And in a lot of Southeast Asian countries, and I think in South America too, they use avocado in a sweet way with ice cream or with condensed milk already. Yeah. So I bopped the two together, and honestly, it was probably one of the most delicious things I've made this year.
Yeah, that sounds fucking incredible to me. I'm very like avocado ice cream, like an avocado milkshake. There's a place called blanking on it. The diner on 14th and 7th in New York, Coppelia, yeah. They serve avocado milkshakes that are fucking unbelievable.
They're really good. If you live in New York, you should go there. It's like a diner, but they specialize in Cuban food.
It's 24 hours. There's a bunch of vegetarian options. They have blue corn pancakes. They've got like huevos rancheros. They've got so much shit. All of it is good. I promise you. And when you're like, I'm hungry in New York and I don't want $1 pizza or whatever.
Right.
Take your ass to Coppelia. And I love avocado in sweet things. I love like it in a chocolate mousse thing. I know Jordan's gonna think that's fucked up, whatever.
No, I like that because it's chocolate.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm a big fan of that, and I am actually extremely hungry as we're talking about that.
Yeah, okay. No, milk jam was super good, and then I put it on toast with some cocoa nibs.
That sounds really good. I want to know what your like meal is. If you're like so tired, I don't want to cook, but I also don't want to spend money getting like takeout.
Every fucking day of my life in Portland.
Okay. So what do you like? This is what I'm slapping together.
Yes. So today, for instance, I actually just live streamed it a few hours ago. I take rice, sushi rice, and then I pop a tin of fish on top of it. And then I did like a little handashi on top and just put nori straight up in there and a bunch of spinach, like a bunch and one bunch, a bunch of spinach and water or stock or whatever you have. And then I put the lid down and press go, make rice.
Like a little like congee or like porridge.
I mean, it just, so I just do like a 1-to-1 ratio, like you would with the sushi rice. And then it's basically like a Gohan rice bowl situation. I do it in the rice cooker. Plus, it's so hot, and I'm doing this dinner, driving up to Seattle tomorrow, and I was making crepes for hours today in my kitchen with no AC and the window open and my box fan. Like, I was just sweating bullets. So anything to not have to like turn on my really terrible glass stove that heats up the apartment. My hood is also broken. So,
God.
but hey, it's cheap in Portland. I can live here by myself.
That's true. Incredible. Well, guys, if you have any more questions, please pop them in the chat. What is somebody? Oh, Christine asked, is there a country you'd like to visit to learn more about their food?
I think definitely I've never been to Asia at all, so I'd love to go to Japan. Obviously, I think I pull a lot of like inspiration from Japanese food. And I would love to visit a couple different regions, and China's so huge and massive, but I would love to go to the Sichuan province, and I'd love to go to the up north in the Yunnan province.
Yeah, that's awesome. We always talk about on Top Chef from season 1 to like season, I don't know, today. They'll always be like, my specialty is Asian food. And we're like, Asia is the biggest continent in the world.
Yeah, they're like, I put some soy sauce on
ginger, on a piece
anything,
of bread.
I'm an Asian chef.
Yeah. I mean, China is so massive in itself, like, and a lot of people think like, oh, you know, it's Asia, they don't eat dairy, but there are literally specific places in China where they that's all they have is dairy, you know, they make cheese.
It's all regionally based. It depends on like what animals and livestock and crops you have. Like, it's so crazy.
Yes, I have a friend who is from Inner Mongolia, and her cuisine is like so different from anything that I've ever thought of to be Chinese cuisine.
Yes.
And it's like right there, and it's like it's so crazy when people are just like Asian food. I'm like, shut up.
I know.
Literally, what could you mean? Gorgeous. Yeah. Do you have any like kind of stories of like a dish that you tried to make that like didn't work out, but then you kind of like figured it out, or like any like kind of dish evolution stories?
Oh gosh, I mean, I think every dish I do is a constant evolution. I'm really bad at following recipes. I'm really bad at following the rules. I'm one of those people, like I have to mess up at least 2, 3, 4, 5 times in order to realize all the processes that are, you know, like happening, and the science behind the cooking and the flavor science. So I don't have one in particular, but I think I'm constantly always just basically flying by the seat of my pants.
Incredible. Okay. What is your like, you said you hung out with Maria the most?
I think after the show, I hang out with Maria the most, and we talk the most, partially because my mom lives in Tucson.
Oh, fun. That's
Yeah, so it's pretty easy in that way. And I don't know, I just love Maria, man. She's hilarious.
Yes.
She's great.
Yes, I was gonna ask. Well, go ahead.
Little plug for the lesbians.
Yes.
Okay.
Always huge to have a lesbian on the show for me. Always
we're gonna drop that info in the chat.
I'm gonna drop the info in the chat that Maria's a lesbian, and I'm
very aware. Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, Jordan just drops in the chat, I am a lesbian. Incredible. A good plug. Keep an eye out for that on your social media feed.
Love it.
Incredible. Well, Sarah, are there any like collaborations, pop-ups, restaurants, like if people want to check out your work in person and online, where should they go?
Well, I'm doing videos as much as I can. I'm pretty busy right now, but obviously I'm in Seattle. I think Thursday, Friday, doing dinner with Shota from my season, Joe Sasto, and Sarah Welch from the Houston season, which should be a lot of fun. And then I've got another dinner I'm planning in San Francisco towards the end of October. So if there's any San Francisco people out there, it's at a buddy's restaurant called Osito, which is pretty new. And
Little Bear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
So I'll be in San Francisco towards the end of October. And then I don't know, I'm kind of I might be taking the winter out of Portland and hanging out in the Lake Tahoe area for winter. So I might do something a little bit fun down there, or potentially just kind of bop back and forth from Tahoe to San Francisco and do some more stuff down there.
Awesome.
That's very exciting. And we're all, after this chat, we're all buying tiny fish. We're all going to buy tiny fish. And also Sarah's info is in the information, what's it called? The bio of this video?
Oh, yeah, like the description. So give her a follow there on Instagram.
Go follow.
Her videos are super fun. And we have one last question.
Now. I'm following on TikTok. I'm following on TikTok. So
it's crazy that I have more people that follow me on TikTok, which is so strange because I am like not a TikTok person.
Listen, you will be soon. This is what I'll tell you.
Lose followers because I don't participate. I just go in and I post and I get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I just
didn't know how it worked for the longest time, and I was like, I don't understand. I post things about food. Why am I only seeing dancers? I don't get it. So I had to finally explain.
Yeah.
I just made a TikTok this morning, like my account. I've never had an account before, and so I'm very new.
It's good.
Amy has one last question for you, which is, Sarah, if you were to go back and guest judge a Top Chef challenge, maybe from your season or from any season you've seen, what would you want the challenge to be? So like, what feels like a fun thing to be a judge on?
Oh gosh. Well, I definitely would want to judge towards the end of a season, so I don't have to eat like 5 million
like 45 slices of fish pizza or something.
And I would probably prefer to have like definitely not a raw challenge by any means. I'm not trying to get sick. Maybe some sort of like, I don't know, rustic. Show us your grandma's favorite dish.
I
love that.
Love that idea. That's really fun.
Or grandpa, whoever did the cooking.
Exactly, whoever. Well, Sarah, I'm getting word from the Bravo producer in here. I'm good to tell her? Okay, well, Sarah, you are Top Chef.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of people don't know this. There's 2 ways to become a Top Chef, and we'll keep saying it until Bravo asks us to stop. And one way to become a Top Chef is to be on the cooking competition show Top Chef and win, or you can be on this live stream visual podcast for charity hosted by Reka and
I love that. And I also want a whole bunch of GE appliances.
Yes, and that will be coming to your door in a matter of 6 to 8 years.
Yeah.
You have to look out for that.
And I will expect the invitation only wine delivery.
Absolutely. You're going to get your first jug, which is 75 gallons. It's going to roll on over to your door. It might crush you, so be careful.
Yeah, be careful, be safe.
Yes, be safe. The first ingredient is sugar. That'll be coming very soon. Sarah, thank you so much for doing the show. It was a total blast having you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
We had so much fun. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in for all your great questions for Chef Sarah. And we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for birthing me as well.